on the webpage. I showed them the webpage of my department, what research I'm doing, and I said I need free access to Twitter to download the tweets for free to do my research. And they said okay, and they gave me some passwords so I could download millions of tweets. But I don't need millions, I just need this network. Okay. But when Elon Musk bought the major part of the shares of Twitter, things changed. Things are no longer free. So if you are thinking about doing such research, you must be very careful that social media changes day after day. So one day it's free and the other it's not. So I'm no longer mining tweets. I have for a couple of years, 3 years almost, I have the data that I need. So I have stopped mining any more tweets because it is no longer free. If you need to mine tweets, you have to pay a lot of money. And there is no longer academic research access from what I know. Since Elon Musk bought the share. But it's okay, I think, because I have enough data. I am now concentrating on the tweets exchanged between the leaders during the Russian invasion to Ukraine. This is the period that I'm investigating right now, just to have a data set of tweets. Okay. So said about free and paid access, you must be very careful. And the many challenges I wanted to focus on, perhaps it also interests you as researchers. When you are doing research on text, sometimes there are many different languages within a piece of paper, even on a letter. It addresses people in English or in French, because sometimes countries have 2 or 3 official languages. In Greece, we have only one. In Italy, okay, only one. But there are some countries that prime ministers write in 2 or 3 languages. So this is a problem of how to address it. And when you have a network of such different countries and different languages, a language is a barrier for your research because there are no tools for all languages. Okay, tools are mostly designed for English. So you cannot have the same exact process for tweets in Dutch or Greek, for example. So what I do in order to process my text is use Google Translate to translate everything into English and then use the tools that I need for my research. Okay, so we already said about language as a barrier and free access as a barrier. Another challenge that I would like to focus on is the fact that prime ministers also change. So when you are researching a topic about elected prime ministers or elected people, they might resign, okay, and people change. You have elections, like in Italy, you used to have, what was it before Meloni, the prime minister, president? Mario Draghi, and now it's a different person. Mario Draghi didn't used to write himself, but he used a team, I think, for writing tweets because they were long and they were addressing Mario Draghi as in third person, like Mario Draghi, Oggi is there or somewhere else. But other people write themselves the tweets. Okay. So this is also another challenge that I would like to address and maybe help you in your research in case you do social media studies. The fact that people change in the social network and you have to keep track of the account, because sometimes people have 2 official accounts, like Charles Michel used to write in 2 official accounts, his personal account and his president of the European Council account. Okay, so these are details that you have to be careful. This is an example of a text from a tweet. It's from Ursula von der Leyen. You can see that it was reposted, like it says in the beginning, and then you have the text in English, sorry, in English. And then this is the URL from the X platforms. So this is more or less what I do. I collect this text from the tweets and then process them. What can you do with the text from a tip. Something very popular is sentiment analysis, which you can do, I think, also for the letters. Do you know about sentiment analysis in text? Have you heard about it? No? Okay, because every sentence we say, everything we say has a positive or a neutral or a negative sentiment. Okay. If I say today it's raining, it's probably negative sentiment, I think. Um, so you can detect sentiment from long text, like letters, or from short text. There are special tools for short text because tweets are very short and you cannot detect sentiment easily from so many, very few words. Okay, so there are special tools designed for Twitter to detect sentiment from very short text. They can detect positive or negative sentiment, or anger, or bitterness, or other sentiments. What I did at the beginning of my research was to work with a professor from the University of Sheffield who has designed such a tool for English language. And he helped me write the Greek language version of Sentistry. This is his tool. And in order to do this, I used 3 humans as classifiers. I gave them a set of 1,000 tweets, and each of them, like 3 of you, maybe classified each tweet for sentiment. I gave them 2 um, scales from 1 to 5, and from -1, -5 for negative sentiment. So if I say today it's raining a lot, these 3 people had to classify the sentence for positive and negative sentiment. Okay. And if they said -5, all 3 of them, then it's probably a negative sentiment, or neutral if it's like 1. 1 is neutral. Okay. And this helped me design, write up a dictionary of classified words for sentiment, and they are uploaded on Hardmin. Perhaps I can show you the URL. Should I there? Yes. Will it work? Okay, the researcher who helped me, did I leave the full screen?
Let's try to.
I don't see the mouse.
On the glass, that's it.
Ah, not very smart of me. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the files are uploaded here. This is a server for the Greek universities to upload their research files. You have something similar here in Italy for universities to upload, all universities to upload your files?
We have a repository at the University of Bologna in which we can do it.
Okay, so Hardmin is provided by the Association of the European Universities for researchers to upload their files. And here we have uploaded our files. You can see it's a booster word list, all in Greek. It's similar to the English version, idioms, irony, how you can detect irony or sentiment. And this is the dictionary, which is the tool you mostly need. It is free, the access is free, but you have to send the request for us, and me and my professor, to see who is requesting and for what research. So I go back to the presentation, and this is the link, okay, for the actual tool of the researcher who helped me. His name is Mike Thelwall, and you can see more about his methodology here. Okay, but this is for short text, not for long text. Okay, so full screen. Down, down. This.
Not too much.
Too much. Okay. So one thing I did with text, and you can also do with your research or processing text, is lemmatization. A lemma, it's a Greek word. It's when you have the root of a word. Okay, like Cambiare, the root is cambio. Okay, so there are tools, online tools that can process each word and transform it into its lemma so you can know which words are used the most in a text. Okay, and so you can see which are mostly used and what does this mean for us. So I used an online Greek tool for Greek language, of course, to analyze the tweets of two Greek politicians, the Prime Minister Mitsotakis and the former Prime Minister Tsipras, and to see how they tweeted during the pre-election period. Was a negative, was the sentiment negative or positive, and which words they used the most. This paper was published, and you can look it up in this URL. So what I did after I used the online tool for lemmatization, the tool found for me, it did all the work for me. It found the geographic entities and the people entities within the text. So I saw immediately, because it did all the work for me, that the former Prime Minister, Alexis Tsipras, used many people to refer to. You see all these two tables, they are people mentioned by him. Their surnames and people that he mentioned during the pre-election period. So what does this mean? And what I saw was that they were not even from his own party, they were from other parties. So what does this mean? Why does he refer to people from other parties? This is not part of my research because I do not search political content. I'm not a political analyst, but it's up to me to find the tools as information scientists to help political scientists do their research. So we can use these tools and provide them with information. They can do what they want. What does this mean that Alexis Tsipras referred to people from not his party but from other parties? Why did he do this? Did he want to attack them in an offensive way? Why would he do that before the elections? And on the right, you can see what Prime Minister Mitsotakis, he was at the time the Prime Minister. He referred only to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the pre-election. So some people say that he did this because he's a Prime Minister and he doesn't refer to other people because of his position as a Prime Minister. But is it so? Because I think if it was someone else, like Donald Trump, in his position, I think he would address many people. He talks a lot. He talks about many people. So it's up to the person, I think, who writes the text. So you can deduct your conclusions from this table by using a lemmatizer. Another thing I saw from the file that was extracted for this lemmatizer was the geographic locations, the entities of geographic places. How many did Mitsotakis use and how many did Tsipras use? So I saw that Kyriakos Mitsotakis used a lot of geographic locations, opposite to Alexis Tsipras, which he didn't do. He referred more to the people and less to locations. And this is the difference between them, because obviously the Prime Minister was wanting to address people from the whole of Greece, maybe, I don't know, while Tsipras decided to use people to refer to the policies, I don't know. And then after you have the geographic entities, you can create a map. The same for letters, like you have in archaeology from papyri. You can create maps from the locations mentioned and see and visualize the information that is contained within the letters by using it on a map. Okay, you add the locations and the map is created. Also, you can create word clouds, which are very popular with tweets, posts from X. You see which words were used the most. There is a list. The lemmatizer provides with a list of the words. And there's another column that says how many times each word was used. So you take these two columns, frequency and words, and you use a word cloud tool like word art. I use word art in order to create this cloud. And you can see that words that were used the most are with bigger font, and the words that were used less were used in smaller font. Um, Sometimes it's best not to use words like no or will. But in this case, I decided to keep them because I think that for politicians it was interesting to see who uses positive words and who uses negative words. Because on Tsipras, in Greek, of course you cannot understand, but his main words, the one in the center, is not. Well, for Mitsotakis, his most popular word was will, which is a positive word. For me, this was important, so I decided to keep them. But in other researches, I think researchers will not keep these words, not order. Okay. Um, so anyway, and then you can see which verbs people use, like raise, pensions, or nouns, what things they refer to, and make your content analysis. And then I used my tool, my dictionary, for comparing sentiment for each tweet. You can see from the account of Mitsotakis and with the account for Tsipras, who has the most positive sentiment from his tweets and who has the most negative sentiment. Mitsotakis has 2.02 as positive, while Tsipras has 1.64. The other two accounts were the accounts of their press officers who also wrote tweets, but I decided not to take them into consideration because they did not tweet a lot, so I don't think that 10 or 12 tweets were enough to help me decide about sentiment or anything. There were very few. Okay. So again, in the negative sentiment column, you can see that Alexis Tsipras was the most negative in his sentiment, minus 1.84, while Mitsotakis was 1.23. What I hope to do next is provide a network visualization of the words used in all the European Union leaders' speeches during the Russian invasion, like I said, in Ukraine. So I took a small data set of 5,600 tweets, more or less, and from all the accounts, this is also another challenge that maybe not all prime ministers have Twitter accounts. In our case, during this period, I think only one prime minister did not have a Twitter account, or sometimes even if they do have an account, they might not tweet so often. Okay. So this is a visualization of the words um, that they used during the invasion, and the different colors show you the different topics that they addressed. Were they military? Were they economics topics? Were they about energy? All sorts of things. And the bigger font shows you which words were used the most, and the bigger the lines show you which word is connected to which other word topic. Like here on the left, okay, you cannot see, but with the blue lines, there were topics about the Bucha massacre, and they were mostly connected to Russia and Putin. So these words were a network of their own, so you can see what is used the most with Bucha massacre, okay, in Ukraine. This has it was a bit of a problem for me because I didn't manage to get this published for a conference I wanted, and this you might help me find out what I did wrong. I am not sure what I did wrong with my methodology. Anyway, but I'm working on improving this right now. And this is the topic that I spoke about on Friday. Okay, in order to find new methodologies with my research on text, I decided to use this new hot topic, generative artificial intelligence, which came out very enthusiastically in November 2022. Okay, when ChatGPT made this huge progress with using natural language for processing text. So what I spoke about on Friday is what can Gen AI do for us when we process text. I showed examples of detecting languages because if you upload a file of different languages, does the program know which language it is written in? It's in Italian, in French. So it can do this. It can do it for us. You immediately upload the file, and it tells you what the languages are. I also used the generative AI. I use actually a tool called Po. I subscribe to this service which uses many Gen AI models, large language models, not just GPT, but also Gemini, Llama, and so on. So I can compare what each model brings me back as output. Okay. I try to give examples of political analysis from these models, and they do political analysis for me, and they were quite good actually, and they can detect irony and the topics that each political leader was addressing. Of course, they can translate. Automatic translation, something that has been around for many years now. I also asked Gen AI to detect for me tone and audience identification. So if a politician writes on Twitter or gives a speech, can you tell me what tone does he use? Is it formal or informal? Does he speak to educated people who know very good Italian, or to people who are not very well educated? And he gave me the answer, and it also gave me excuses for why it's giving me this answer. I'm telling you this because he used this and these words, okay, or these phrases. And the audience told me it's probably an educated audience that the Prime Minister is addressing, okay. And on the right side of the slide, you can see I asked Gen AI models to provide me input for a word cloud. Word clouds we saw earlier, okay? And so I asked it, can you find me the most frequently used words in order for me to create a word cloud? And the answer was, I cannot create a word cloud for you like the image. I cannot create the image, but I can give you the words, and then you go to a service in order to make the word cloud. Okay. For now, because I think in 6 months, maybe they can also do that. Okay, things are changing very fast. Summary is something very easy for large language models to do. It's one of the easiest, I think. They can summarize a whole file for you and tell you what this file is about. They can also provide keywords if you want to see what they are talking about, the main keyword. They can analyze sentiment. This is a space for research, I think. I would like to research if the sentiment is close to the tool we already had before generative AI. It can detect, of course, geographic locations like the ones provided to me by the Twitter API. I compare the entities with the ones that the API provided for me. And it can also compare different files for content. So I upload two different files from two different politicians, and I asked the AI to compare the content for me. So can you tell me what this person is talking about and what the content of the file is? And it can do this for me. Not very well right now, but I think that in the future it will get much, much better. So before I finish, I would like to tell you a bit about the special interest group that I belong as a volunteer. I find it very interesting. There is an info artificial intelligence special interest group that you can follow through this URL. And this is the mailing list. It's blocked by the, wait, Nasconti, what is this? Can I push this? Okay. So this is the URL if you want to subscribe to the mailing list and follow our news, and you can see what is happening in the world of libraries with artificial intelligence. There are many applications and services for OCR, like transcribers we were talking about yesterday, cataloging. Well, catalogers no longer exist. in a few years because generative artificial intelligence will substitute people. I don't know. Anyway, many applications are shown on this mailing list and the documents that the special group provides. So, wait. And this is me. This is my social media accounts. You can find me on LinkedIn and X for the time being, because everyone is leaving X right now since Donald Trump was elected and Elon Musk was selected by Donald Trump as his minister, I think, of economics. People are leaving X and moving to Blue Sky, which is another application. So for the time being, I'm here, and this is my email from my university. So thank you for listening to me, and I would love to hear if you have any problems or any ideas how you can help me. I would love to hear you.
Thank you very much.